what's happening YouTube? This is Runner from BellatorGero.com. Not arrogant, just better. Just going to get my pre-fight predictions on UFC 129 Shields versus GSP. I've looked at the fight card, and as long as it doesn't change, I think it'll be a cracking, absolute fight card from top to bottom. Just going to give a quick shout out to Quayleg, Bobby Dazzler and Najaruni. They know who they are, so, and I'm going to go in order of these fights in terms of what I think should be on the pecking order. And the first fight I'm going to start with will be Matyushenko versus Jason Brilz. Jason Brilz, in his last fight, he came off a loss against Little Nog, and Jason Brilz won that fight. I don't care what anyone says, Jason Brilz won that fight. And Matyushenko, he's coming off a win over some Brazilian who's just a grappler who looked pretty crap, and the stare down between Matyushenko and Ferreira was just the worst stare down I've ever seen in my life. And for some reason, I think this light heavyweight bout between Matyushenko and Jason Brilz will be probably fight of the night, because they're both good wrestlers, they both can stand and bang, and just for some reason I think these two may be fight of the night. And I'm not going to go really deep into this fight, but I think Jason Brilz against Nogueira. I know Matyushenko's a different sort of opponent, but I'm going to give this fight to Jason Brilz, and I think it's going to go to decision. Yeah, I think decision, Jason Brilz, and should get back on track as such, because he hasn't fought in almost a year, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, moving on to the lightweight division, we have Ben Henderson versus Mike Bocek, or Matt Bocek. Matt Bocek, he's coming off a win against Dustin Hazlett, where he caught him in a triangle choke, and subsequently Dustin Hazlett got cut from the UFC because it was like his third fight loss in a row, and I think he was a bit stupid in that fight not to, well, that was his strongest part of the game, but he got caught and that was it. Anyways, Ben Henderson, he is a good fighter, came over from the WEC, had some great fights with Donald Cerrone, and he's a good fighter. He's a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Mark Bocek is a black belt, but I think all Ben Henderson needs to do in this fight is keep it standing. He's only had 2 wins by knockout or TKO, but I think Ben Henderson is better on the ground, better on the stand-up. For some reason, not many people, well, in the Cerrone fight, he had a choke. Well, he was getting choked out, and I don't know how they didn't choke him out, but that's how it went. Ben Henderson, I think he's a better striker, but you saw in his last fight he did die a bit because he was getting hit, but he stood in there, he didn't get knocked out or anything like that. I think Matt Bocek, the best chance he's got in this fight is to take it to the ground, and I'm going to say Ben Henderson's going to be able to handle it, and I think he's going to get this fight finished second round TKO. Who's this now? Hello? What's happening, son? Right, cool, catch you later. Yo. Anyways, back to the predictions. Next fight I'm going to go on is Lyoto the Dragon Machida versus Randy Couture. I don't know why Machida took this fight, because me personally, I know Machida's the favourite, but I think Randy Couture is going to pull out the upset. I know if Machida loses this fight, it will be 3 in a row, but he won't get cut from the UFC, because I think in the Rampage fight he got ripped off, pretty bad, got ripped off. And Randy Couture, he's just the sort of fighter who I think Machida won't be able to handle, because he'll get in his face, he'll rough him up a lot, and I think Randy Couture will probably get this fight by decision, because I don't think he's going to finish Machida. But I don't like how Randy Couture fights. I think he's just boring, dirty boxing, blah blah blah, and they keep going on about how he's so good at it. But best chance Machida has is to take this to the ground, because he doesn't really use much of his ground game. But Randy Couture is one of the fighters who comes straight ahead all the time, because he wants to grapple with people, so he's got to come straight ahead. and as Machida is a counter striker, he's going to come in. Randy Couture's going to come in. He's going to get popped in the face probably a good couple of times. In my eyes, this fight could go either way, but I'm going to go with the upset, and I'm going to go with Randy Couture, and he's going to get this fight decision, because Machida has not looked as elusive as he has been before he got knocked out by Shogun, or should I say in the first Shogun fight. He hasn't looked as elusive, and yeah, I'm going to go with the upset on this fight. I'm going to go with Randy Couture, but I think this might be Randy Couture's last hurrah as such, because I don't think he'll want to fight anyone else anymore unless he wants to come and fight Shogun, which he'll probably get battered. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to go with Randy Couture, and I think he's going to get this fight by a decision, and it should be an interesting fight between Machida and Randy Couture. Moving on to the co-main event, in the featherweight division, we have José, top 5 pound for pound fighters in the MMA world, versus Hominick. Hominick is a good fighter. He's coming off a good knockout win, first round, and the thing with Hominick is he's got a ground game, but it's not as good as José Aldo. José Aldo doesn't need to go to the ground because his striking is that good. Hominick has got really good knockout power, and he tends to knock out a lot of people. But he's got a lot of losses on his column. I think he's lost about seven fights, maybe even more, to be honest. And José Aldo's only got 1 loss, and that was ages ago now. But everyone that José Aldo's been fighting lately, he's just been walking through them. No one's had like really a chance in the featherweight division. And breaking down this fight, I think José Aldo will have the better stand-up, but it's risky because Hominick has heavier hands, and I think you're going to see a different side of Aldo this time. I think Aldo's going to take this fight to the ground more than stand up, and it would be the smarter option to take it to the ground because he's better on the ground than Hominick, and he's really quick on the stand up. It's an interesting fight because these featherweights, he's got 110 miles an hour all the way, and yeah, I'm not going to go against José Aldo. There's not going to be an upset in this fight, and I think Aldo's going to get this fight finished probably via ground and pound, 3rd round, because it's a 5-round bout, because it's a championship fight. And yeah, I'm going to go with José Aldo, and yeah, I think it'll be a very interesting fight, and Aldo will probably stay at number 3 in the pound for pound MMA fighter, because obviously everyone knows who Anderson is number 1 and GSP is number 2. And moving on to the main event in the welterweight division for the belt is George Rush St-Pierre versus Jake Shields. Right, the one thing that's annoying me about this build up to this fight is everybody is writing off Jake Shields straight away. Granted that the promo for the fight, which lasts about a minute, is going to be more exciting than the fight in general, because Jake Shields, and I've been saying this for ages, he's got little pipe cleaner arms, and he has the worst stand-up I've ever seen. Yep, worst stand-up I've ever seen in MMA. His stand-up is absolute dog shite. I swear, I bet GSP could stand in front of him all day and get punched in the face and not have a mark on him, because Jake Shields' stand-up is so crap, and I don't know why they keep showing it on the build-up to the fight, because you see when he hits, he's so awkward when he strikes. It doesn't come like naturally and just clean, nice, sharp hits. He's just so. I don't know how the hell he's got to where he is, but his grappling is world class, unbelievably good. Yeah, I think this fight is a matter of who can keep it standing, because I think if GSP goes to the ground, Jake Shields, his jiu-jitsu is so slick, and everything about Jake Shields' ground game is unbelievable. I know in his last fight against Martin Kampmann, he gassed out, but I'm sure he's going to come in well prepared, and he'll be coming in around the weight he's going to need to be a few weeks before the fight, or about 2 days before the fight, should I say 2 or 3 weeks. Anyways, GSP needs to keep his fight standing. He's got the better stand-up by a long way, you know what I mean? And if he works on the jab and stays away from Jake Shields. And as we striking, it's just going to be like GSP versus Koscheck again, where Koscheck just gets smashed in the face for 5 rounds basically. I don't know why I don't see GSP finishing this fight. Dan Henderson, when he fought Jake Shields, he gave Jake Shields an arse whooping in the first round, hit him pretty hard and knocked Jake Shields on his face. But that was a different weight class, and breaking down this fight, GSP's got the best stand up. He's got a good ground, he's got an excellent ground game, but Jake Shields' ground game is better, and I think Jake Shields is going to be the bigger fighter. It's so interesting because it's just a tale of two coins. GSP's probably the most complete MMA fighter that we have in the UFC. Yeah, most complete fighter that they have in the UFC, and Jake Shields is probably the best grappler. And if he loses this fight, I'd like to see Jake Shields versus Damian Maia, because I think them two would be an excellent fight in the grappling aspect of the sport. I know a lot of people go, oh, I don't like grappling because it's just two gay guys humping. No, it's not like that. You gotta look at the skills that they're putting in and how they're working it. It's totally different to. Well, obviously, I love a stand-up battle. You know what I mean? And this fight is not going to be a stand-up battle, right? Going off course totally, right? Jake Shields, if he goes to the ground, I'm going to say Jake Shields will win, and I think he'll win by third round submission. But I'm not going to go with Jake Shields. I'm going to go with GSP. GSP is going to win this via 4th round TKO. And back to what I was saying before about people writing off Jake Shields. Never write off Jake Shields, because Jake Shields has a 15 fight win streak. You don't get a 15 fight win streak from any organisation. You have to be really good at what you do, and Jake Shields is a master at what he does, and that is his ground game. And I'll keep going on about his ground game, his striking being so shit, but if you haven't seen Jake Shields fight, watch it in this fight and you'll see what I mean by his striking. But Jake Shields has beat plenty of good fighters. He beat Semtex Daly before he lost to Koscheck. Jake Shields was the last person to beat Daly. He's beat Okami, he's beat Condit, he's beat Mayhem Miller. He's beat Dan Henderson. Jake Shields' list of fighters that he has beat is unbelievable, and yeah, I think it's going to be a good fight, but I'm going to still go with GSP. And I know I've contradicted myself by saying I don't see GSP finishing this fight, but I don't see it, but I think it'll happen in the 4th. Anyways, that's me finished on UFC 129, Shields versus GSP on predictions. And I'm just going to go and throw out a little question out there. Just wondering for the guys out there, do you think if Bruce Lee was in MMA, how long would he last? Because it's just one of them interesting questions which no one really knows. Obviously people go on about boxing versus MMA, and everybody knows MMA would win hands down every time if it's MMA rules, and a boxer would be able to not hack it in MMA world, as you've seen with Ray Mercer and fucking fuck nuts. Anyways, I'm gonna stop going on. Yep. So my question is, if Bruce Lee was in MMA, how long would he last, and would he win the title at 155 or 145? And that's it. That's it. Post your comments below, and yeah, that's it. So this is me, Runner, signing out for my UFC predictions. 129, Shields versus GSP. Post your comments below, predictions below, whatever else. And this is me, Runner, signing out. Peace.